Before Hercules, before Achilles, before any hero you've ever heard of, there was one man whose story became the blueprint for every hero that came after. His name was Gilgamesh, the first hero in human history. Long before Rome, long before Egypt built its pyramids, and long before Greece created its myths, the ancient world told stories of a king who was part man, part god, and entirely unforgettable. These stories were carved into clay tablets, written in a language older than almost anything we can still read. These tablets became known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest heroic story ever discovered, dating back over 4,000 years. Tonight, you will hear the legend of Gilgamesh, not as a dusty ancient tale, but as a living, breathing adventure. A journey of power, fear, love, loss, and the ultimate question every human eventually faces. What does it mean to live forever? Part 1. A king like no other. In the ancient city of Uruk, in what is now modern-day Iraq, there lived a king whose strength was legendary. Gilgamesh was said to be 2/3 god and 1/3 human, a being born with power no ordinary man could challenge. He could outfight the strongest warriors, run faster than any animal, break stone with his bare hands. His people admired him, but they also feared him. Because power without balance becomes tyranny, and Gilgamesh, in the beginning, was not a hero. He was a ruler who demanded too much, pushed his people too far, and believed no one could ever stand against him. The people prayed to the gods for help. They didn't ask for mercy. They asked for someone strong enough to stop their king. Part 2. The Wild Man from the Forest. The gods answered, not with lightning, but with Enkidu, a wild, powerful man formed from clay and brought to life by divine hands. Enkidu roamed the forests, ran with animals, and knew nothing of human civilization. He was pure strength, raw and untamed. But when the gods whispered his purpose to him, to confront Gilgamesh, he left the wilderness behind. One night, he arrived in Uruk. He stood in Gilgamesh's path, two giants face to face. The city watched in silence as the two strongest beings in the world collided. The fight shook the walls of Uruk. Stone cracked beneath their feet. Hours passed, neither willing to give in. But as the dust settled, something unexpected happened. Instead of hatred, the two warriors looked at each other with respect. And in that moment, they became brothers. Part 3. The Quest for Glory. Gilgamesh and Enkidu wanted to be remembered forever. So they set out on a journey no one had dared attempt. To enter the cedar forest, the sacred land guarded by the terrifying giant Humbaba, servant of the god Enlil. People begged them not to go. Even the priests warned that Humbaba was born from ancient storms, with a face that could paralyze a man with fear. But Gilgamesh only smiled. He believed a hero must challenge the impossible. The two friends traveled for days. When they entered the forest, the air changed. Heavy, silent, alive with unseen eyes. And then, Humbaba appeared. A creature of enormous size, with a roar that tore through the trees. The battle was brutal. Enkidu weakened. Gilgamesh hesitated. But together,
they found the strength to strike the final blow, and the cedar forest fell silent. They returned to Uruk as legends, the city cheering, songs rising, glory overflowing. But victory came at a price. The gods were angry. Part 4. The Wrath of the Gods. The gods decided that for killing Humbaba, one must pay. Not Gilgamesh, the king, the chosen one, the demigod, but Enkidu. The punishment was cruel. Enkidu fell ill, his strength faded, his voice weakened. Gilgamesh sat beside him, helpless. For the first time in his life, he saw something he couldn't break, couldn't fight, couldn't defeat: death. Enkidu's final words to his friend were, "Do not forget me. Do not let my name die." And then he was gone. Uruk mourned, but Gilgamesh shattered. His brother, his equal, his only friend, taken. And with Enkidu's death, Gilgamesh saw the truth. If Enkidu can die, I will die too. Part 5. The Search for Immortality. Terrified by his own mortality, Gilgamesh abandoned his kingdom and walked into the wilderness. He wore the skins of lions. He ate whatever he could find. He crossed deserts, climbed mountains, and walked through total darkness. His goal? Find unmatched, a man granted eternal life by the gods after surviving a great flood. A flood story older than Noah, older than any we know. Gilgamesh asked him, "How do I avoid death?" Utnapishtim told him a harsh truth. Death is the fate of all humans, even you. But Gilgamesh refused to give up. So Utnapishtim revealed a secret, a plant at the bottom of the sea, a plant that could restore youth, a plant of rebirth. Gilgamesh tied stones to his legs, sank beneath the water, and found it. He held immortality in his hands. But when he stopped to rest on the journey home, a serpent rose from the shadows, stole the plant, and vanished. Immortality slipped away. Gilgamesh collapsed to the ground. He wept. He screamed at the sky. He had failed. Part 6. The Return to Uruk. With nothing left, Gilgamesh walked back to his city. The same gates he once entered as a conqueror now greeted a changed man. He stood on the walls of Uruk and looked over the city he built, the people he ruled, the world he helped shape. And for the first time, he understood. Immortality does not come from living forever. It comes from the stories we leave behind. He whispered, "This city is my legacy, and Enkidu will live through these walls, these stories, and through me." Gilgamesh became a wiser and kinder king, and his story traveled through time, surviving wars, empires, and the fall of civilizations. The first hero became the first legend. So, the next time you hear about ancient heroes, Hercules or Achilles or any other myth, remember, the first hero of human history came long before them, Gilgamesh, a king who searched for immortality and found meaning instead. What do you think?
Was Gilgamesh a real historical king, or just the world's oldest myth?